Yeah, YouTube is doing weird. The save of my title and description did indeed not work. It said, sorry I could not update your video. And Arman is pasting me on Discord. It says part 27. Well, this is part 28. And I get no data. It says that I am not streaming, basically. I don't like this. So we try to fix that. The whole thing is dead. Close this. Open a new tab. Go to YouTube. Before you continue to YouTube, I'm not signed in. Oh, let's see. I was signed in on this page, but apparently I logged out. Yeah. Now I'm logged in. And that means I should be able to go to maybe it's appending to 27 or not. What do you think? Well, maybe you can change the title in the middle. Let's see, so what I was typing here is I asked Claude for a function, and 1 hour later and 1 hour and 6 versions later I gave up and decided to fix the code myself. So that's where we are. It did update it. Weird. Maybe it's just gonna save that anyways, because I'm still streaming. Okay, now we can continue after I turned on my music. Yep. Determine the smallest n for which final k plus 2 times n equals minus k 2 times no values k values n for all n greater or equal n. So this is what Claude wrote, although I've mangled it through the Clang format. And this is what I wrote. I'll heavily fix it. I can show you what it was, but yeah. So this is what Claude wrote, and then I formatted, and then I added it a bit. And now we are here. So it's using I for some reason. Why? And it's coming from the front. What is this doing, man? If all same runs over it again. Yeah, that's not even worth looking at. Let's just do it from the start. I guess again, just do for loop and then break at some point if some condition, and then well, at that point my stable n must be set, so I should put that outside of it. Yeah, maybe like that. So the stable n equals, okay, might as well put a break here, I suppose. The stable, yeah, of course. So the stable n is the last value. That is the number of values minus 1, the last index. And we're going down. Yeah, like that. The only thing I have to fill it is this. When or do we stop? We stop if this does no longer hold for stable n minus 1. Thus, if this plus 2 times stable n minus 1 is unequal values stable n, then we have to stop. Looks a bit weird, so maybe you should rewrite this as a do loop. So let me start over. I don't know, maybe it looks better. So I just do this, or a while loop, I guess. While and then of course this is an equal minus stable n. And that looks better, so let's delete this. However, if it was right on one account, stable n may never become 0. So I don't want to do this if stable n equals 1. So stable n must also be larger than 1. And then we did it. I'm not even sure if Claude's thing worked. Maybe if anyone, probably nobody wants to see this, but so that's where I tried it. Yeah, what? Oh yeah, I continued here. So my question was, please write a C++20 function that takes as input a small vector of integers that writes 3 lines to standard cout, like the following. And then we just have the index of the vector 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until the stable n, after which this formula doesn't change anymore. So then I wanted to print greater or equal. I want to have 2 spaces here. Yeah, please take note. 2 spaces. This is my example also. Here's another example. 2 spaces. I think ChatGPT should be able to count the number of spaces. I don't know. Anyway, it never got that right. Never. So this then should be always the number, and then here we have grouping as a formula of some k plus 2 times n. As long as that works for the 2 and the 3, then you can group it with that character. So that's what I describe here. Here's another example. I give lots of details. Anyway, it generates a function, and the output of that is this. So I say the output is this, and which has the following problems. There is a space too much before the 0, because now we have 1, 2, 3 spaces here. I meant, that's my error, I meant standard set with 4. However, when I said that, I mean to show how little intelligence these AI have. Let's see what did I exactly said. There's a standard width. Now I cannot not find my standard width back. Yeah. So I said I don't know, on the first line, integer starting with 0 incremented with 1 with 3 spaces in between are printed. So that's these 1, 2, 3 spaces. Claude is supposed to be the best C++ coder of all AIs. And then I make an error. I said, so 3 spaces. And I said 2 if n becomes larger than 9. Yeah, because then you get, say, a 1 here and a 3 there. So then there's only 2 spaces left. And then I made an error here and I said, you can use standard set width 3. But of course it should have been 4 because set width includes the integer. Do you think it understood that, oh, I made an error. If he wants 3 spaces in between for single digits, then it should have been set W4. No, it didn't. It just used set width 3. So the result is 1, 2, 3. And there's only 2 spaces. So I say, there is a space too much before the 0. I meant set width 4. So that there are 3 spaces, like I said, between the single digit values of n. You are using, that character instead of what I wanted. You print too many of these, which is a 2 character wide with the correct font. See what the shit did he create there? By the way, I mean, that's all fine. Like, this was the first attempt, and I'm just telling it exactly what went wrong. And yeah, well, in the second case, you have a formula below n is 0, and I very explicitly said that below the 0, you always must have a number, not a formula. It repeats what I say. It's very good at summarizing what you say, but it doesn't understand it because it's not able to fix it. So, output 1, 2, 3 spaces. I think I told it that it was 1 space too many, and that it did, well, too many of these. I thought I told it not to do that, but to fix that. It didn't, it even printed more. It didn't group the formulas. I mean, you can't even see it in this mess. So it keeps like that, but it's just one big failure. Okay, let's just go to what I said. Output is now this. I explicitly said not to group single values, by the way, somewhere. Okay, there is still 3 spaces before the 0. 1, 2, 3. Our AI almost AGI, if you want to believe the CAOs of these companies, and now failed. What is it, 2 or 3 times already on fixing this? I did this wrong again. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 12 is 24. So, sorry, but 6 has the same formula as that. Okay, I spelled it out. I said there wouldn't be a grouping with for single values, yet you put one below the one in the first case. You fail to recognize that in the first case for n is equals 1 and k equals 12, the formula is also 10 plus 2n. That is even in the first case. So now with the new input vector that you for some reason come up with, n equals 1. How hard is it to determine n? What is the single doing in the second case? That n equals 6 also has the formula. Huh? You know, 12 plus 2 times 6 is 12 plus 12 is 24. Thus n equals 6, not 7. You're absolutely right on all points. It says exactly this phrase. This is exactly the same every answer. And then it goes on to make the same mistakes. Because, again, new program. And I say still 3 spaces in front of the 0 and use this as input, because by now it just made an incremental thing and I made an error here. Okay, it fills that in. It wants it to compile at the very least, so it puts 6 here. You're right, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I meant this. I accidentally left out these things. And with that, the program outputs 1, 2, 3 spaces. And I believe that this is just wrong. It's completely wrong again. So here I say, I give up on you, I'll fix this myself. I haven't looked at what follows, but I'm pretty sure that the new program also won't work there. So now we're doing this myself. Yep, so here we had Claude's version and my version. I think my version is better, plus mine works. Print the first line. For example, this should be in 1 space here and 3 spaces here. I want to work with an int. Yeah, this is bullshit, so that's why I never got it right. But sorry, if I ask it 4 or 5 times to fix it. And I just kept doing this. I think that's the easiest solution, and then just start at 1. And I really, let's use n, man. I mean, come on. Less than stable n, no. Less than or equal stable n, right? Oh, yeah, no, the stable n is printed here. That is, so it starts with this and then all the way until we have this. And I have 1, 2, 3 here, which is maybe doubtful, but that's what I had. So 1, 2, 3. Stable n, yeah, that looks good. Find groups for display, consecutive same k values, excluding the stable tail. Group start in case vector n equals 0 is always a single value. Groups push back. Start and end, so end is apparently not 1 past the end here. And k values is the k value of 0. Yep. Process positions 1 to stable n minus 1. While 1 is less than stable n. That is excluding stable n, right? Yep. And we start at 1. That looks good. End is start, while end plus 1 is less than stable n, and k values n plus 1 equals k value start, or k value end, I guess, plus end. Always use pre-increment. I don't like the one line thing though. It's also a style, I guess. Oops, pushback, start, end, k value start. Start is n plus 1. Okay. Print second line grouping with characters only for groups of size greater than 1. Group size is end minus group start plus 1. Yeah, because end is inclusive. I'm tempted to change that. End is usually 1 past the end. It's kind of confusing. Let's just change it. So I'm changing this, and dude, the size type is unsigned, which is an absolute horror. Don't want to do that. I don't know, I think I typed it like that. So yeah, the coding becomes simpler. Lots of plus and minus ones drop out now. Okay, so we only want to print this horizontal brace if the size is larger than 1. If it is not larger than 1, print a single value. Set width, group size times spacing. What? Print nothing? Yeah, okay. Could also print 1 space, I guess. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna print 1 space. Right, I'm gonna look at this last because I expect that to be the most difficult part. Print third line values and formulas. M is set with M, set with 2M. No, okay. Run over all groups. Handle the greater or equal n case, stable the formula. If final k is greater or equal 0, formula is standard to string final k plus 2n. Else formula is what? That's exactly the same thing. Brilliant code of this. Absolutely everyone's going to lose their job. Yep. Okay, this is printing the formulas, right? Let's see, we run over all groups. Size of the group again. If the group is larger than 1, yeah, that's where we were. Formula. If the k value is greater or equal 0, I was testing that, but I saw the exact same thing, because the final k is never 0. Never ever, so I'll leave it like that. K is also here, never. This is always true, I'm just going to ignore this. It still prints plus 2n. Huh? It still prints k. It's just such a if k is 0, then print 0 plus 2n. Yeah. Why? Okay, and this will do the same thing. Calculate spacing needed for the group. Total width is group size times spacing. Formula width is that. Padding is total width minus formula width divided by 2. I need some examples, I think. Uh-oh, all my examples are gone. Nah, nonsense, I have my examples. Yeah, the examples are gone, actually. Wait a minute. I have them here. See, there is a problem with this character, which is, I mean, I don't really blame the AI for getting that wrong. Because it's not 2 characters wide, it's like 2.5 characters wide or something. So 1, 2, 3 of them spend this whole thing, and this was 1, 2, 3, right? So 3, oh, they spent 3 characters. 1, 2, 3. 1, oops. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. So that's why it got it wrong. I told that it was too wide. But the formulas is where apparently my plus more or less my plus is more or less aligned with the center here. Yeah, that's a plus or minus 1 offset. I think I should just try it out. Although here the plus is also, yeah, there is, these are 3 spaces, so there is a character exactly in the middle, and that's where the plus is in the case of an an even number, and otherwise the plus is there. So we do we do need to know more the width of this thing. Although this is always the same, it's just always 3 characters. So I guess there is a possibility to get there. And the width is, the total width is 2 times spacing. Well, not really. It's like 2 plus 2 minus 1 times spacing. Let me copy this one, I suppose. I think I... Seems that new Vim is not able to show these things in the correct place. Not sure I want to cheat and add spaces here. Let's not do that. Let's add that's my brace. Right. There's one more. Let's see. We just printed, I think, up till the 8. And I guess that now we have to print up till the where well, this lines up with the 1, so it must line up with that. So I have to print this part. And that then exists of always 3 spaces in the beginning. And here is the center, which I want to calculate. So the total width, I think, is meant to be this whole thing. So that is one more than that, so that's 12. And the formula width is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the padding is different left and right, obviously, even we divide by 2, so per definition in 50% of the case, at the very least. So let's just talk about padding on the left. I'll rename this to left padding. The left padding then too string. Why would you do it like that? I might as well just do 3 spaces and then, oh no, that's not true. No, God, let's first calculate the position of the plus, and again size type. My monitor fits in an inch, fortunately. Yeah, otherwise it would get into trouble with my neighbors. Probably the whole city. Let's see, left padding. Yeah, inch. The plus position equals, well, in terms of this, so that is the 7 dress. Let's just delete this. It's more or less the total width here is given. Plus is 7. Okay, I think I can calculate this the best by taking the whole length, which is total width, and then subtract whatever needs to be subtracted. So 5. And it's always 5 because that this is it is not always 5. Damn it. Okay, I'm being stupid now. It is the same as that, but if there is only 2, it's the same as this character. Relative to that position. And this is a fixed number. That's a 3 that is fixed. And then we have to add something that is half of this width, right? For example, 0, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 1, 2, 3. 3. Okay, there's a 9 here, and then how do I get that position? There's a nasty half offset there. I'm too stupid for this. Oh, that's why. I thought it was in the middle. Let me get... I mean, it is in the middle in this case, but it's not. It cannot be in the middle then in the other case, which is when it is too wide. It looks like it, but I have 3 in the middle here. Man, what the? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Yeah, it is in the middle. This is in the middle. So here I would have 1, 2, and a plus, and 1, 2. It corresponds to 0, 1, 2. And in this case, we have okay, and I want to get, well, whatever this number. So I have that 2, 2. Well, that's this 2, right? Total width. Group size times pacing. Okay, that's more. That includes the 3 up front. Does it? Yeah, 1, 2, 3 here. But I don't want to think about that because I want to get the middle of this part without the leading spaces. Let's just talk about 2, as in these 2, which is end minus start. n minus start. No, end is 4, I think. 4 minus 2 here is 2. And then here that is 3, of course, and then here it is 4. And the result should be two, 4, and 6. Yay, increment by 2. So it is n minus start times 2, because it goes up with 2 every time. Which is the spacing divided by 2, right? So let's, Jesus, I want to use the spacing as well, but it's not going to work then if spacing is odd, I think. In the end, let's divide by 2 in the end, okay? So that means that I want to get this 2 as 4 divided by 2. Where the 12 is then the total number of things that we have here. No, this is an 8 here. It's just the index under the last one. 12. Where the hell do I get my 12? This one more equals. Yeah, okay, I get it. Where the 12 is one more than something, right? No, not one more. Wait a minute. One less than the total width of this thing. But this is just one character, right? And I think it is, yes. Even if there was, say, if this was 12, I still count under the normal hundreds, the digits here, the least significant digit. So in order to get 12, I must multiply spacing with a number, I think. So this is spacing times 3. And this is spacing times 2. And this is spacing times 1. And the multiplying thingy is then 1 less than n minus start. So to get this index here, we have to do spacing times group size n minus start minus 1 divided by 2. Is that correct? For example, in this case, we have a group size of 3. So 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. Divided by 2 is 4. If this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yay. Then we can calculate the left padding. So the left padding actually depends on the width of this number, which I don't want to do. Maybe we should talk about the right padding first. So the right padding is the total width minus 2 for these two. We'll just begin with subtracting this number. No, wait a minute. Yeah, this is also a constant. And then we calculated this distance, plus or minus 1. So in the end, it's going to be formula width. No, total width. Total width minus plus plus minus a constant. And the constant then includes this and the plus or minus 1 offset here and an offset for the 2n and or the plus 2n. It's all very vague. But we know the constants because we have an example here. The constant is total width is 12. The plus pos is 7. And the right padding is 1, 2. So 2 equals 12 minus 7 minus something. It must be 3 then. How weird is that? I guess it's this side. Well, wait a minute. No, the 3 includes the spacing. No, let's sorry. Let's subtract the spacing as well. Total minus spacing. That would be this part. Yeah, that makes more sense. And then subtract the plus pos. So then you get just this part, and then subtract 2 or something like that. Or add 1. Nobody knows. It's not 7. This is not 7, dude. For this example, it is 4. Okay. That's how I defined it. Twelve minus 4 is 8. Minus 4 is 4. And I need to have 2. So minus 2. And I think now it's safe to say that the 2 is the length of the 2n. And then we can calculate the left padding. The left padding is this, which is of course the total width minus the formula width minus the right padding. Okay, just leave it like that. I'm going to delete this again, I think. It's a bit not that helpful anyway. The fact that the braces are 3 characters wide, it's irrelevant here. So I might as well remove that. No, I did everything except this part. So here it is relevant. Okay, so the last thing that he printed was without grouping, and that is just printing the spacing up till this point here. So this has already been printed. And now we have again a left padding, which is then this part, followed by the number of braces, and then possibly a right padding, I suppose. They might overshoot actually. That is nasty. No, we can't overshoot in this case, as long as the spacing is 4. But yeah, I'm not going to change spacing, so who cares that it is actually buggy? As soon as you change spacing, it will stop working. Oh no. Wait a minute, that's not true. If we have 2 of them, then we already do overshoot by 1. So I'm gonna print it like this then, for lack of a better thingy. Maybe just use the ASCII art, now I think about it. The whole UTF thing is not working well anyway. Okay, ASCII art. Do I have a thingy down? What do you think? Is that cool? There is an upgoing tick that's also UTF-8, but I think that will work because it's just 1 character. So this is an accented graph or something. I have that somewhere. Which projects? Well, I'll just find out again. Print it. Yes. Oops. Accent acute. Bleep. That should work. And then we also have the possibility to group. Why don't you put 5 here? 1, 2, 3. Group these. Ting, 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 ting. Ding. Yes. This is very much like the formula. We need to determine the center. That used to be the plus, and then and then the rest. You have to calculate this length basically, which is the same in this case with spacing even. Or is it nonsense? If the spacing is odd, yeah, then it won't. Then it would be different. I assume the spacing is even. What is this? I'm just going to steal the code from the formula, because it's totally going to be the same. The formula width, the brace width, and the brace width is, well, hell, total width is wrong. The other one counted from here. Yeah, we have to do that as well. Or this is just spacing. I'm gonna do, I'm gonna call this total width here, although then everything changes again. Ugh, nah. Comments have to be added. That is the brace width, of course. I'm just gonna call this the brace is now. And then the tot pos. So they should still hold, right? It's just the same 4 as we had before. It's 4 and 2. Let's check it again though. So this is the group size is 3, 1, 2, 3 members. 3 minus 1 is 2 times 4 is 8. Divided by 2 is 4. Yep. We don't need padding. I want to know this length. That's all. So that is, let's call that padding then. The padding is simply the brace width. Yeah, nah. If you wanted to work with the with an odd spacing, then I have to calculate a left padding and a right padding, and then maybe one of them is not as long. Guess you can do that. let me calculate the left padding here. And I'm just going to calculate it, whatever we get here. So that is half of something, the half of 6. I have 9 minus 3. The 3 for that one, and that one. That gives me 6. And then divided by 2. And the right padding is also 3, but let's calculate just what is left. So that would be the brace width minus 3 minus left padding. Okay, and we printed till here, so now we have to print spacing spaces. Followed by a backtick. Followed by so not a set fill. Is the fill still set here, or is that just a one-time thing? Let's try if it is still set. I'm not sure we can print an UTF character as a character. It is an int though, maybe it works. I'm just gonna do a string. Compiler is not really, I mean the compiler would be aware if I call it an U8 string, but then you get all kinds of trouble. I'm just going to treat it as a byte string and then hope that my monitor will understand it, and it will understand it. So, but of course this is not how you should do it in professional code, because this really uses the fact that my monitor is interpreting UTF-8 as characters. As every Linux box should. There's nothing else than UTF-8 in Linux, which is a smart choice, I think. Right, now hopefully this works. Let's try to compile it. I left an I in. Well, that should be an N. And we failed, of course. Wow. M is -2. That's also very interesting. Holy failure. This is worse than Claude. No. Oh, I printed an end line where there should not be an end line. Should be an end line here, but not the last thing that I changed. Where is that? Here. The ridiculousness. And here. Formula. Okay, that looks better. Yeah, the set fill is definitely it's still there. I don't know how to do that. We didn't want to reset the stream. Let's ask this friendly AI. After using, say, standard set fill on the stream, possibly other IO manips. What is the typical way in C++ to reset them? Whatever. No. Yes, this is what I meant. Okay, I'll use this. Yeah, I do have to add extra braces though, which I not really like. Yeah. It's just how it is, I guess. Not happy. What went wrong? Everything. My god. There must be space in front of the N here. It's actually 2 spaces here. Yeah, now the 2 is here, but the equal sign should be aligned with the column. Thus, there must be 2 spaces more here. Now the 6 must be under the 0, obviously. So there's a space too much here, or what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, of course. Now I'm still printing this one with 1 space too many. Haha. I have to special case that. Let's not print this as a group. And then if you start printing, surely something goes wrong here as well, but let's fix that afterwards. Those are the braces. And now the formula, we start with the group here, but I should print here. Add standard set to W, spacing -1 apparently. And then the just values, value 0. Yeah, this is a line dip. Okay, and this goes wrong because we have this is group and as final for some reason depth. I have no clue why that went wrong. That had to do with the fact that I started with Claude's program. And I tried to optimize it, but I just missed this bug. It prints, I think, the final K. Oops. Regardless. But that it should not do that. How does it even determine the group for that? Oh god, I just go over it again. MS2 is passing 4, number of values yeah, well, okay. K, fill in K values, final K. Final K is the last K. Stable N, number of values -1. That is the index of the last one, which we decrease as long as this should find the correct stable N. And then we print up till the stable N, and then we print greater or equals stable N. So it did not find the correct stable N. -1. Now that's better. Okay, I think my plus sign is perfectly aligned below the center here, and I think these three should be grouped, so that is also good. Or should they be grouped? Maybe I should have a look at the input, so we know what the results should be. Well, if this is correct, then we have two groupings, right? And this is one of them and this is the other one, obviously. If that is correct, that is. Let's check then. So in the first case, we have should have a grouping from 1, 2, and 3. That's correct. Followed immediately by a group of 2. Yes. And then the rest is okay. And this one is on its own. This one is then on its own. This is +2, +2. So there's a group of 3 alone, and then the rest is +2. So this has a single group of 3. And then that one is alone, and then we get greater or equal, which is under 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this one is alone, there's 20 up, and these 3 are grouped. This is alone, no, it's good. So the braces are complete bullshit, but for the rest, the width, however, is okay. This is okay. This is okay. This is I should reset the fill anyway, apparently, after. And this is also a wrong. So let's begin with resetting the fill, which was also set fill star. Just reset it to a space immediately after printing the brace. Nah, might as well put it here. Now to fix the indentation, is this correct? So this should have been under there, so there's 1, 2 spaces wrong. And this is 3 spaces wrong. There should also be an extra space here in the middle. Looks like there is no padding. I think we print all the way up till and including the 0. And then we have nothing here. And here we print up till and including the 1 and then also nothing. So my left spacing is missing. And then maybe here the left spacing is missing as well. So let's begin with fixing that. I'm using spacing still. Sorry, that should have been left spacing. Oh no, that's just spacing. Yeah. Why isn't that not printing anything then? Are you telling me that this is not working? A single space? Well, it is working. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the problem is that I'm not taking this into account, so we have to begin with more spaces here. So this should be under there. I just have to add 1, 2, 3 spaces, I think, aka spacing -1 in front of here. Which is where? Oh, just here. But or is this inside a loop? Because now we got it here as well. I think I put it inside a loop. It is inside a loop. Nonsensical. So it was spacing. Probably just should be spacing. Hopefully. We need. Oh yeah, this is my indentation here. Yep. So we need another spacing here. And then one less here. Now this one is still indented one too much. And that's all. The rest is correct now. So we stopped here and then we print 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. Yeah. And I should not do that. So we have to print this thing with that spacing instead of a space. What the? Okay. That got rid of a space here, so now we have to add that space again. And it works. So now I have something that converts a vector into this nice printing. Let's include that in the main program. Let's see what the main program is doing at the moment. My main program is doing the following. I made such a mess of this, it's unbelievable. I think we do get here. So I adjust MS2 at the moment. And then n runs for several values. And then creating a board. I do want to print that board then. But do I want to? Yeah, I want to print it, but only for one n, I think. So let's print it for a reasonably large n. Okay, the last n maybe. So if n equals, really, we think it's so dirty, man. Just print the last board of this loop. This is also printing stuff, isn't it? Yeah, it's also printing stuff. That's not good. Nope. I have to be able to construct this board. Let's make a separate function for this. Gonna do something a little. Board B is what's the relative position with a given two kings and a rook relative to each other. Get relative position. Could have made a lot of it. Maybe I should have made a lot of it. Nou ja. I want to get maximum x value over board for a given n. I think that is always linear, so I might as well use n0. Let's say we're creating a board here. The board test. Relative position. 2, what are in 0,2. Well, maybe a little bit bigger. Whatever. Let's put it on 8. Just to determine right here what the offset is that I add. So that is then, let's say, an offset relative to, I think the N and M are for the rook. Let me think. No, the N is for the black king. And the M is relative to the rook. It's going to be up to 2 or between -1 and 2 it can be. They need a maximum, so set it to, I don't know, -2, which it can't be. And then we test this for all 3. I'll just set it to the first one then. So test, and then I want to get N. Sorry, I want to get I want to get the black king. And then get the X coordinate of that. Can pass that to this function, X coordinate. I think we can pass more than 2 arguments to standard max these days, or not. Maybe I have to pass a tulip then. Would be insane if that is not possible. I'm just gonna try it. There is definitely a problem there. Yeah, see, it takes a initialize list, not a tulip. Okay. Well. Okay, so the n coordinates, or sometimes when I do mathematics with it, I call it n, but I talk super explicitly about coordinates. I call it x, but it's the same thing. Okay, so offset, that's totally const, and going to use that, for example, here. This, of course, can never be board size, and if it is, if there is an offset, then I have to subtract that as well. And then we know the largest one, so now I can create a board here. Let's call this one the FB. The F stands for far away, the largest N. Okay, largest N board. I can't type. I'll type too much anyway. And then I'm using, yeah, the same M as I tested here with. So it's kind of weird, of course, if I have to do that multiple times with different M. And then as N, we use the largest N of the next loop, which is then this -1. Is that true? No, that is the correct value. So this should be like that. Less than board size. And then we can print that one. Let's print a new line here. Maybe even 2 new lines. I have the feeling that it is necessary. With a little bit more than 50% chance. We are going to print M anyway. Let's not do that. Okay, then I get my board, and then we do get the initial position or whatever, some position. Construct a board. This is all bullshit, actually. I might as well delete this, but I think this is only necessary if I leave this loop and then do something with it. I don't know why it's here. It's annoying that it's here, isn't it? Ignore that part. No, I just calculate the ply. So even the initial position is y to move. but I want to work with black to move. So here I calculate the number of ply with black to move in this position. Where board 1 is this one, which is just constructed from initial position, which comes from B as index, so it's still B. But why? This is the board. The board becomes an index. I add that to a begin to make an iterator. Then I get the index again from the iterator, and then I reconstruct the board. Someone shoot me. Let's just use B here. What? Yeah, B as index. Same thing as here. We do need an index here. That is true. And that ply, I'm not going to print this anymore, so I don't need a previous ply here. Previous ply. I do need to store this now in the vector. So let's say I push it back. What is a plural of ply? Plies. Nah. Just M values. And not N values. K values. Yeah, but ply. I usually apply values. Okay. And we have that per M value. So I can here add a standard vector of ints called ply values. And then we're not printing anything anymore. And then here call our new function. Yay! I forgot what it was called. Print formula table. I passed line number. Where were we? Can't even remember the vector name now. It's horrible memory. Ply values, yeah. So much memory. I'm using 30 gigabyte swap and 30 gigabyte of RAM. And then we get only one. What? Does it make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. No, it's okay, yeah. So this is just for the largest end value that fits on this board. So this now can be copied Suppose it doesn't make sense to print this part, right? If there are no pieces on it. What is this? Oh, it's still printing this. We have to remove this and let's not print the top of the board. And I probably should print who is to move here. And there is indeed a new line too much. I'll rather add a new line here. That's what I thought. This program is already running. So I use twice as much memory as... The thing is using like 30 gigabytes of memory. So it put 30 gigabytes of this running program on the swap. Otherwise, couldn't run it. Okay, so what was I doing? Let's say. No, that works. Just so here we want to start with the smallest possible y, or no, the largest y coordinate of all the three pieces. And then do something that is very much like we had here. this. Completely forgot what file that was. Oh wait, I can just do this. No, I cannot. What file was it? board1.txx. Already in board. Just remove this. Otherwise the line is so long. Board. Why? Actually, we are in the very board. So this has to be removed as well. Call to a non-static member function without an object argument. Oh, this thing is static. Whoops. Then what is my board? Oh, it should be printing something. Oh shit, I'm not printing a board. Yeah, are not printing a board. So what I'm doing? I'm doing select figures. That's the thing. Yeah. My God, you really have to run over the whole board then, calling select figure. Just to know where the first one is. So what I could do is run this loop and not print anything. Okay, as long as this is skip top is true, then we don't print anything. No, wait a minute. I'm gonna escape before that. And do here, if there is no piece and not skip top, then we print nothing. That's nonsense. I'm printing here anyway. This should not be printed. And that is my while loop. And then we get the bottom. That should always be printed. So here I select the figure, and then if skip top is true and the figure is not one of these, which means that figure equals none, I think. None. Yep. So if skip top and we don't see a figure, then do not print this, but simply continue, as in end of the loop, so we continue the loop. However, if we encounter an if we get here, then we did encounter the very first figure. In that case, skip top must be set to false. And we can't just continue because I'm missing a lot. You have to start over from here with the same y value. So I still have to break out of this loop, and but then not increment y, and just go to the top. So we need a new for loop then for that. And a new boolean, I'm afraid. So here I should break out of it. And then now I'm here. And then I should realize that the skip top was just changed. But I cannot just test it if it is false, because I already do that here. So I think I need a new boolean. Let's say restart. And now they do continue. So then we continue at the top here, the same y value. And if we do this, then we are actually at the end of the loop. I mean, then we just have to leave this loop, of course. Never go more often. So you only want to restart once. The restart is then part of this loop. So now for a given y value, if the restart is just always false, until we find the first figure, then we do not go to the next x coordinate, but we set restart to true, break out of this loop, and then immediately continue at the top here. This time with restart equals true, false, I mean, again, and skip top false. So this is now being printed. Start with x is 0 again, and skip top is false. So this is now not being done. Now we're actually starting printing stuff. This is false again, so this is just skipped. This is now printed. And this loop is doing nothing because we have a break at the end. Totally should work. And now we can wait a minute again. Wait a minute. I'm gonna drink something while we wait a minute. Yeah, it was less than a minute. Oh, I forgot to remove this line. Yeah, now we have one empty line here and two here. I'm happy with that. And the whole top of the board is gone. Perfect. Okay, let's remove this. This is part of same thing that I was working on. I have the feeling. Yeah, this part. Right. Okay. Next, I want to run over multiple relative positions. I guess that loop goes in here. Okay, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we does this whole thing. And that index has to be passed to my get relative position. Now this changes this function of the relative position. So I have to do this as well inside the M loop, even inside this loop. Yes. Yes. And this is just for the same relative position, obviously. Now the only thing that changes, I think, is the I'm sure, is the white king. The white king kind of walks around the position of the black rook. See what's the easiest way to do that. So this is the black king, and this is the black rook. No, this is the white king. This is the black rook. We need some ASCII art here. Huh? Do whatever. The king is here, black king, and the rook is there. So this is the coordinate n, and the rook is at n+1. This over here. Yeah? Nobody knows what happened. No, n-1, yeah. You need an arrow, not a larger than. So unclear. Well, horizontal line, that doesn't look like that. That would be nice as well. We're just going to box drawing, I think. Box drawing. Light horizontal line. Set copy. Set doable here. And then the other king, I think in Fen code, black is lowercase. So the other king runs like this. These are the 5 positions. Just fill in the relative position index. Yeah, no, it looks like it points to the K. Yeah. So now I can calculate, or at least now I can understand how the code is. This is the white king x equals the black king x to board x coordinate of, yeah, what a bullshit. It's the black king x is n plus the relative position index, as long as it isn't 3. And this should be 4, and not 5. Oh, what am I doing? Yes, if it is 2, 3, or 4, then it should be 2. Plus 1, plus 2. This column. And that is the horizontal thing, aka the x-coordinate. And the working y-coordinate is, and I do something else. We go down when the thing goes larger. So it must be standard maximum. Let me see. I want to get 4, 3, 2, and that must stick at 2. And not go up even further. So I want to have the maximum of 2 and the relative position. And then the 2 itself gives me thus subtract 2. And I want to get the y-coordinate m plus 1. So we must do m minus 1 plus this. Or minus this. Wait a minute. Minus 2. Whoops. It still doesn't look correct. Let me see. The relative position index is 2. I want to get this coordinate. The y-coordinate is m plus 1. I'm going to subtract 2. 3. That looks much better. Because this is m plus 1, m plus 2, m plus 3 here. That would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, vertically. Okay, x. Working y. Yeah, and the hoek is just n plus 1 m, and the king is n and m minus 1. Just you can see it in the thingy. No magic function called to get relative position. No. So now we should get 5 boards. All analyzed, well, for MS2 anyway. I forgot to add that black is to move in the printout. Probably should do that. So in this position with black to move. As a function of n, this is the number of ply in which it is made. I'm very shocked to see that this is 14 here. Why? Can't remember to have calculated that before. That makes no sense. I thought 8 was the largest. Maybe I made a mistake then, because this is automated. Is this seriously the case? What the hell? So if I move the rook here, yeah, then n is this number. This is not 14. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It is not even possible, is it? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So black king here. That ain't possible. How is n ever 14 here? The largest thing is 15. 15, 14, 13. 13, yeah, okay, this is 13. 13 empty files. So 14 should never have been printed. Oh, okay, that's what I did wrong then. That's where something with offset is being done. Yeah, this must be a -1. Seriously? I'm really confused. Okay, let's do this for just the value that I found suspicious, which is 2. And we put 3 here, so just that value. So m is always 2, relative position is always 2. And then we calculate the offset. And I would say print offset. Print the board. And then what is the maximum value of n that we can have? Offset should be so we put this is relative position index 2, so the white king is here. So this has the largest x coordinate and well +2 relative to the black king or relative to n. 1, 2. Yeah, well, offset should be 2. And then that means that n plus 2 cannot be equal to board size. So n plus offset cannot be equal to board size. Oh, that's what I had. How the hell can n ever be 14? wait a minute. That's no. That's N. That was correct, actually, I think. Or wasn't it? No, wait a minute. Arg. Print formula table. I'm just gonna print it. So with n equals n, we have ply equals the last one. The one in the back. And gone is the 14. Oh, it belonged to this one. Oh, I'm an idiot. And then it does fit. Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah. You do get till 14. And I'm still shocked. This, maybe the reason is that White wants to walk like this? Nah, no way that 14 is a special case after this long list. No way. Something goes wrong here. I think for safety I should just leave one row empty. Or maybe just put a rook here, at the very least. This seems to work. The king can walk around it. And I just set the rook, yeah. Which makes it, yeah, let's do that. So in this case then too, in this case it seems to work, but the thing that now the king just stays on the board here. Yeah, maybe the best move is to go there. Which it can't do, because that doesn't, I don't allow it to go off the board, even though the actual board is infinitely long. Can't go beyond P. That must be it. I would love to test it with one larger, but then I run out of memory. I can fix that because I should. I'm working with square boards, which starts to be very irritating in the light of how long it takes to calculate it, as well as the memory that it costs. So I should split up the horizontal size and the vertical size, so allow two different sizes. So you can actually take a board of 4 by, I don't know, a lot larger than this. I think 32 might be nice. This is 16 wide, so 32 wide would be nice. And I have enough memory for that if the thing is just 4i. Enough. I'm just gonna ignore these 14. There's no way. No way. No, this, yeah, I don't even have to test it. So let's It said offset always to 1. No, always to 2. So I'm gonna set this to 2. Which means we don't need that anymore. What the hell? I forgot to set this to 0 apparently. I want to see all of them. Why am I opening it here? Yeah, this must be 0. Yeah, I want to add the blackies to move here. It's a nice, not too wide. If I add it here, it gets a lot wider. If I add it here, then I lost my nice empty line. Talk about empty lines. Where did this empty line go to? I mean, I wanted to have 2 empty lines here. Maybe just add an empty line here and then add the black to move like here. So add an additional line for that. Oh, talking about, yeah, my graph looks different as well. Now I think about it. And the answer that I wrote look totally different. But it's mostly about this part. And then we have this. I'm suddenly getting tired of it. I'm gonna stop. Let's eat something. I wanted to do an analysis with black to move, but also with white to move. So we have all these positions with both black and white to move. And then I'm going to see how that changes. And then you can summarize that as in terms of this formula. So this position is 12 with black to move. And this position is also 12 with black to move. So it doesn't really matter if the king is here or there. And this is really a nasty place to be with a white king. And it takes one move longer to mate, to apply longer. And here is again 12. And actually, it's kind of, yeah, remarkable. If the king is there with black to move, then whoa, 8. It's like 4 ply less than when the king is up here. It's kind of strange. But maybe not. So you have this position with the black king there. Then you could diagonally go here even, or you can just go down, doesn't matter. So if now you go down, and then black moves, and then white moves, no, black moves here maybe, I don't know. The point being anyway, that if I have those positions for large n, for both black and white to move, then I think I can locally calculate it. So I don't need an infinitely large board. I can just say n is 100 and m is 50. And then locally calculate how to move, what the optimal way to play is. So the details in the corner don't really matter anymore. Then you can just really go far into the infinite board, and then you get the best way to play. And then I'm wondering if it is good for black to run more or less vertical down first, or that black should go diagonally, or that it doesn't make a difference. Guess it doesn't make a difference. Well, it doesn't make a difference for very large N and M, but the constant could still make a difference. So that's the last few number of plies. In the end, you just have to, this whole way to the value of N, you only need to run with the white king along, and the rook has to make a move every time black gives one row away. So if the black king goes down, then the rook must go down, and then you have this. Yeah, that's why this position is problematic, of course. If here the black king goes down, you can't move down with the rook, because then it takes it. So if the black king goes down, then you have to move the king, and then the black king goes up again, and then you have to move the white king down again. And then you did 2 moves with the white king, which is 4 ply. And then you get this position. Sorry, top one. Then you get this position. But it's 4 ply away from the other one. Strangely enough though. Because this is 8 plus 2n. With black to move. Then why is this 14? 6 ply. Let's see, 6 ply. So move. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, now it's white to move. Aha. Do it take 6 to reach this with black to move? Maybe you have to do a tempo move the rook then. Yeah, probably. Yeah, you have to do a tempo move. That would be 4 more, not 6. So maybe going down here is not the best option. No, you have to go down, otherwise the king... Well, yeah, otherwise the king just goes up and down like this. But no, you can move the king also from the top in. So maybe this is the best move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna watch a movie and eat. Eat. Still not. Well, first I wanted to go to 68 kilograms, but I'm almost there, and the fat on my belly is not gone. I don't think it's even less. I'm definitely thinner now, so I went from 72 to 68 kilograms. Now I feel like I have to go to 60 kilograms before it's visible. It's ridiculous. So I'm eating nothing. I'm eating soup. Very thin soup. Okay, I'll be back later or tomorrow.